So the Johnny Depp Amber Heard, it was a $50 million defamation lawsuit. I didn't know it was 40 or 50 million that Johnny Depp is going after his former wife, Amber Heard. But the non-disclosure agreements that they both sign, a non-disclosure agreement, those of you who don't understand what those is, most probably do, but is basically, we're not going to talk about what happened during our marriage. And that's smart for Hollywood people or people that are in the entertainment industry, because these two people are high-profile people. They don't want their dirty laundry thrown out there because it hurts their opportunities to work in the industry. So what's going on here is they've decided to basically ignore it, and they are just throwing mud like crazy. So here's some allegations. Denise and I are going to go over a couple of allegations there.
Well, first, let's talk about what caused one of the fights. This is really important.
Okay, all right. This is hilarious. Ready
they got married pretty suddenly, and
2015, I believe.
Yes, in 2015, and Depp asked for a post-nuptial agreement. Now, what is a post-nuptial agreement? It's basically a marital agreement between spouses as to if they get divorced, this is how we're going to divide assets. So he asked for her to sign that, is what he's alleging, and then she went berserk, and she began throwing bottles at him, and she actually caused a bottle to shatter and cut and take off, severing his fingertip.
Wow.
That's a pretty serious allegation.
So that's the first thing that caused her to get upset. These are all allegations back and forth. So this is what he's claiming to cause, this is what caused her to go get upset and start throwing heavy bottles at me, soda cans, burning candles. And then he said, Johnny Depp says, the straw that broke the camel's back when I decided to basically divorce her is on their way. Apparently she had some friends with her, that is Amber Heard, at their place. And they were leaving to Coachella together. By the way, those who don't know what Coachella is, I'm going to call it a little interesting concert down in Coachella, Southern California, that can get a little bit wild, I'm going to claim, but it's kind of where they're heading out with their friends. And apparently they got in a little fight, and she leaves the penthouse, and he wakes up and finds something that's smelly on his bed next to him that either she or one of her friends left for him. That's all I'm going to say. There was something smelly sitting there. And he's claiming, that is Johnny Depp's claiming, that his former wife, Miss Heard, admitted to their estate manager that was just a harmless prank that her and her friends had done to think that was funny. So he said, that's it, I'm going to divorce. But now they're just slinging things back and forth, and we're going to follow this because this trial is coming up pretty soon. Isn't that right?
You know what? I don't know that I hear of the trial date in this one, but because now we're definitely at the discovery stage, we've got depositions that have been taken, and they have witnesses, and they have a lot of different evidence. I say they're pretty darn close to having a trial date. I know that the other trial that Depp's involved with against his lawyers is coming up soon.
Well, here's the other thing, though, Denise, that you brought up is, what about her sworn confessions that he's claiming about Amber Heard? What was that he's claiming about? Apparently she had sworn confessions of violence?
Yeah, she had actually admitted to some of the violence to different people, including their estate manager, where she said the feces was just a harmless prank. So there's a lot of different witnesses. I think it's something like
well, there's witnesses for a lot of her anger-related thing. Johnny's claiming 24 sworn eyewitnesses, 2 police officers, and 87 surveillance and audio tapes of her own sworn, that's Amber's sworn confessions of violence. Now, these are allegations on both sides. We want to say that. When there's a divorce, and Denise, you've handled divorces, it can get ugly. And not necessarily this isn't a divorce because that's over with, but now this is Johnny Depp going after her for $50 million for basically, tarnishing his name.
Right, by giving this interview and then talking about abuse that she suffered, and even though she didn't name him directly, there was no question that everybody understood who she was talking about. And this is part of the reason why she became a part of the Me Too movement as well.
Right.